We have a thriller, or had a thriller once again in Kansas City. The Bills win 24-20. You see that Tony Romo predicting the score again?
That was unbelievable.
He seems to always do things like this.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they never show when he misses, but for some reason, it just seems like he's always on. And another great game. And we were talking last week about the importance of this game for Buffalo. And right before we started the show, I was saying to Ziggy, I really think that this was the biggest regular season win for Buffalo in a long, long time. Ziggy mentioned last season, but the difference to me between this year's win and last year's win is that Kansas City still felt like the powerhouse in the AFC last year. I didn't think it was Buffalo's Super Bowl to lose. Right now, or Buffalo's AFC championship to lose. This whole season, it's been about Josh Allen and the Bills. It's finally their time. Diggs, Gabe Davis is stepping up. And this win here, to me, all but cements that the playoffs are going to go through Buffalo in the AFC.
I was stunned, too, that Buffalo only scored 24 points. I was able to win this game. Like, Buffalo had a banged-up secondary, depleted secondary. I thought Mahomes would throw all over this team.
You know who turned out to be the difference at the end? It was Von Miller.
Yeah, it was Von. Yeah, it was. To hold KC to 20 points. No, I'm just saying to hold Kansas City to 20 points, and again, you only scored 24 it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the end of that game, and you see with about a minute left, Josh Allen throws a touchdown pass, and it's funny, there are not very many times in football you think this, but despite him getting like a 25-yard touchdown, I'm sitting there and thinking, oh boy,
this is
they just lost the game. They're just going to march right down the field, take care of business.
We've seen this before.
First down, we've seen it before, and Mahomes, he's going to time it perfectly, but instead we see Von Miller take a double team, immediately get pressure. Mahomes makes an uncharacteristic mistake, interception, game over. Like, this gives Buffalo the fact that Buffalo can win in these games and win defensively in no small part because they got an elite edge rusher. It makes you wonder if this year's actually going to be different for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the reason they go out and get Von Miller. He did the same thing with the Rams. He goes and makes big plays when it matters. He's the closer, essentially, on that defense. I agree with you. I think right now, they're sitting at 5-1, right?
The reins are theirs in the AFC this season.
Absolutely, because who else do you have? You have Baltimore is 3-3, and at this point, you can't even count them, right? The Chargers.
Do we dare say the other team in the AFC is who's playing well?
Oh my God!
We're gonna have to save that.
I think we're gonna have to soon.
After the Chiefs, do the Jets have the third best record in the AFC?
Yeah, 4-2.
No, the Jets are tied for second.
Yeah.
3-3?
No, they're 4-2.
No, the Jets are 4-2. The only other 4-2 team.
You can't. I mean, we have to acknowledge still that Tua will be back next week. So the Dolphins, they did beat the Bills. So there's a chance there once he gets back. They're floundering a bit without him.
I think that is a game that the Steelers can win
next weekend.
Yes. But
I agree.
I think that Miami has to win if they have Tua back.
I don't know what I think about the Steelers. I just think they're a bad team.
We'll talk about the Steelers.
Yeah, I think they're a decent team. I'm also somebody who going back to the Chiefs Bills game. As somebody who had the Chiefs money line out of principle, Mahomes being a dog in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Buffalo scored at the end. I'm like, all right, sweet. 1 minute 4 seconds left. I win. Mahomes has the ball. Yeah.
How about the hurdle? The hurdle was unbelievable. Josh Allen is just. I questioned at times whether or not he had that closer mentality to him. I mean, last year's AFC Championship game really did go a long way in proving that wrong. But he steps up in the big moments just as much as anyone in the league.
Is there any question at this point that Josh Allen's the best player in football?
In football? Or best quarterback?
I think best player. It's tough.
He'd probably be the first pick. It's him or Mahomes.
I don't know who I would take over Josh Allen.
I think the two of them are on another level.
Paul, like you said last week too on the last podcast, like in the playoffs in January, cold weather, to bring down a dude who's 6'4", 250, not fun to do.
No.
When it's 10 degrees.
That win really could put Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
When it's 10 degrees in Buffalo in January.
You still got to beat a couple really good teams in the playoffs, but that win very well could send the Bills to the Super Bowl. That's how important I think it was.
Yeah, and people don't forget how crazy his stats were last playoffs. We're talking in 2 games, 77% completion, 640 yards, 9 passing touchdowns, 150 rushing yards. Like there's nobody who can put up more offense than Josh Allen. And unlike, you were seeing those rookie games, right, where he was consistently throwing picks, he was consistently overshooting players. He's thrown 1 interception in this 2, 5 6 postseason games.
Yeah, no,
he's on
been
top
phenomenal.
of the world.
After he lateraled the ball backwards in the what was that? The Texans game a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
After that, he's been sensational to me.
And the Bills' D was the story for me in this game, though.
It's impressive to hold the Chiefs to 20.
Yeah, they impressed me big time in this game. Was the Buffalo defense?
No question. This is the most complete team in football.
Not even close. But you know what? One thing to keep an eye on, though. You know, everyone last year was all in on the Bills and Chiefs, and you see the Cincinnati Bengals sneak in. I'm not talking about the Bengals specifically, but there are a lot of young, really talented quarterbacks in the AFC where if just someone gets hot at the right time, you never know. So I know we're all pretty high on Buffalo at the moment.
And the Dolphins beat Buffalo.
But yeah, I don't want to just say they're going to the Super Bowl. I think that the path is very clear and, you know, very presentable to them. But there's definitely a lot of other teams in the AFC that could get hot at the right time.
Anytime you're playing best of ones, nothing is
Yep, you never
guaranteed.
know.
But if you have any team other than the Bills as your favorite at this point, you're delusional.